Freight cost is the actual cost of shipping these units, right? Includes a lot of things like the distance traveled, the maintenance on the truck to some extent. We're going to add the driver cost, of course, and accessorials are things like insurance or surcharges, or sometimes you have fuel surcharges, distance surcharges, things like that, okay? And we're going to do that using this table over here. Now, let's take a look. We charge different rates depending on the truck. So if your truck number 4000, we're going to apply a rate of 28 cents. Now, this might be because each truck is unique. We don't know, right? The purpose here is to learn how to do it. So, and normally, like I told you, you'd have multiple trucks anyway. So larger, smaller, different capacities, different makes would incur a different cost. So truck 1800, in fact, is quite expensive, right? 39 cents. But look at this, truck 4900's costing me 65 cents. And that could be, I'll give you an example. That truck might have air ride. Air ride is a cushioning system using air so that the items don't get damaged, right? And that might cost a little bit more. One might be petrol, one might be diesel. We don't know, but in fact, it does cost more money. So based on the actual truck number, I want you to look up that 4000 here. And when you find that 4000, I want you to give me a rate of 28 cents. Now, if I get 28 cents here, I can multiply that by the actual weight over here to get freight cost. So let's have a look. The function we're going to use is called VLOOKUP, right? And there's a separate video explaining to you in detail how this works. Let's have a go with it here. Equal sign VLOOKUP, open a bracket, right? So you have to have that part. And there's three parts to this. The first one is, what are you looking for? And we're looking for this, the truck number, comma. Where are you looking? We're looking in this table. Now again, in a previous tutorial, I told you highlight all of it. You don't have to, but just do it, okay? Except the headings. Don't highlight the headings, right? Comma. Now when you find this truck number here, which number do you want back? This one, or this one? So that's column 1, that's column 2, that's column 3, that's column 4. This truck number, comma, here, comma, I want the dollar per pound rate. So that will be column number 2, right? Close the bracket, and don't forget you have to highlight what's between the commas and press F4. And that prevents this box from shifting down when you copy. So when I press enter, I'm going to get 28 cents, right? So now if I change the truck number here, this will automatically change. Or if I change the rate over here, and I'll just prove it to you. So I did 31 cents, right? Price of gasoline went up, we're going to charge more. Then this number changes automatically for every time you're using that same truck. So let's put that back. Double click here. I have 28 cents. This whole thing represents 28 cents. Now what do I want to do with it? That's 28 cents. Multiply that by the gross weight and press enter. So it's costing me $721,414 to ship those units. Okay? And I'm going to copy this down. Now, you can color code these later based on these if you like. So there's two parts to accessorials. One is we are going to apply a rate based on this insurance column here. So it's 0.6% in this case of revenue, 2016 revenue, plus the maintenance cost, and that's a charge per kilometer. So in this case, 15 cents per kilometer travel is an accessorial cost, right? And that will be an amount that we would set aside in case we need to replace the truck in the future. And insurance is simply a percentage of revenue. So we're going to use two VLOOKUPs in this case, right? So let's do this. VLOOKUP. What are you looking for? The truck number, comma, where? Here, comma, which number do you want? The insurance, which is column 3. Close the bracket. Don't forget to highlight what's between the commas. Press F4, and that's going to get me a percentage. What do I do with it? Multiply it by revenue. Okay, so it's a percentage of revenue. And if I press enter, it's going to be $504,000. And that's not bad because you do need to set aside money for things related to your fleet, right? Now, we don't know if these numbers are too high or too low. We're actually going to negotiate with insurance companies and so on the rate. So that could possibly go down in the future. Now, that's only part of it. We still have to do maintenance. So let's double click and add a plus sign and another VLOOKUP. So just think of it as doing two separate VLOOKUPs in two separate columns, except we're doing it all in one, right? First thing, what are you looking for? The truck number, comma, where? Here, comma, which column do you want? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Well, we want 4, right? Close the bracket. Don't forget, highlight, F4. Now, if I press enter, this amount is going to be 21 cents for this truck here. I don't want just 21 cents. I want to multiply it by the number of kilometers traveled. So the insurance percentage times revenue and the maintenance rate per kilometer times the number of kilometers traveled or transit kilometers. Press enter and you get $513,837. And that's not bad if you think about it. I shipped $126 million worth of cargo, the revenue, and the cost was about $1.2, $1.3 million, right? Total of this. Now, what's the total cost? Let's do this plus this, and let's copy it down. All right, we're getting there. Now, FCPR is freight cost as a percentage of revenue, and that's a very important metric in supply chain and transportation. And the other one is SCPU, which is freight cost per unit, right? So for each unit, what is the freight input cost? Let's figure this out. My total freight cost is this, right? Let's divide that by total revenue. What percentage of 126 million is my freight cost? Let's make it a percent, and we'll probably go 2 decimals on this one. Copy it down, and that's not bad. So if this year we're running, let's say around 1%, 0.9%, 1.1%, and next year it spikes to 1.6%, you have to answer for that. Why is it that the percentage of money going into freight costs are going sky high? Look at this one. That's 4.37%. That is a difficult product for us. Insurance rates are higher. It costs a lot more money. It's inefficient to ship. Maybe it's perishable. They damage a lot more. You want to try to keep this number down as low as possible. And again, based on economic conditions, fuel charges, and so on, insurance costs, it will go up and down, right? So let's figure out freight costs per unit. Total freight costs divided by the number of units shipped, which is quantity, and we will get $1.50 in this case. So let's copy it down, make it dollars, and that's not bad. $1.51 per unit. This one's all the way up to $3.93. So when salespeople now give a quote to a customer, obviously they're going to factor in what the shipping cost is. Now, in reality, of course, we don't just ship to one location. We might go worldwide. We might go to Mexico, to California. Costs go up and down based on location as well. And the other thing that you have to keep in mind is who pays for this cost. Am I paying for this, adding it to the cost of the product, the price, the selling price? Is a customer paying for it? But in any case, I have to control these costs because you can't just let them spiral, right? So we're going to go to part 2 of the tutorial in the next one, and we're going to figure out some more analytics down here, okay?